Hello, it's me. Actually, it's not Adele. Surprise, surprise.
It's not Adele.
It's, wait, put your phone on airplane mode.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
Yeah. We're professionals here.
We're professionals. You won't get the radio.
So, it's Ash.
And MK.
And this is Highland.
We're currently in my room, sipping on Slurpees, in quarantine. Life is good. And we're doing something a little different today.
What are we doing? I didn't know we were doing anything different. That's weird. So we will be watching Jennifer's Body. But as we've been calling it, Jennifer's Booty.
I'm calling it Jen's Booty.
Jen's Booty because, what is it called? Apple autocorrected it to that.
Oh, correct.
The company of Apple.
Apple. Steve Jobs himself, personally,
is a sexist and said we're gonna be objectifying
not
Jennifer
liking
today.
This movie is, like, actually misogynist. Like,
yeah, and we'll break that down. If you don't believe us yet, you will by the end of this video. Trust me.
You will be dealt with.
You will be dealt with. Yeah, so we're just gonna be watching the movie, basically, and sprinkling a little commentary, breaking down the big moments of the movie, and then we're just gonna talk about Jennifer's Body as a whole. We're just trying we're trying to find our format, so
I feel like you're gonna be doing the heavy lifting because, like, you're like a film student, so you'll have
Jennifer's Body has been kind of my personal, what is the word that I'm looking for? Like, personal
inspiration?
No, but aesthetic. Like, it's like the thing that I like advocate for. Like, I advocate for Jennifer's Body. It's like the hill you'll
die on.
Yeah, it's really because I think it was just done so dirty. It's such a good movie and really, like, was rejected at the time, and Diablo, Cody, who wrote it, also wrote Juno, and, like, her name was dragged through the mud. Megan Fox's name was dragged through the mud. Mm-hmm. All for nothing. It's actually a really good
excellent movie
with really good dialogue and really good
dialogue
themes.
Is batshit crazy. Like, in the same way that Juno's is.
It is, like, it's the same thing where there's a lot of one-liners. Like, it's very quotable, very funny.
It's
these really smart and developed teenage girl characters. Like, it is very much Juno in that sense, but then it's also like a slasher film, which I love horror movies personally. So it's like really, I love this movie so much.
Yeah.
So the plot of Jennifer's Body, I mean, if for anyone who hasn't seen it, is that there's this really hot teenage girl and her best friend Needy.
And it's Megan Fox.
And it's Megan Fox.
So funny that the best friend Needy is played by Amanda Seyfried, and she's supposed to be, like, the ugly one, which is just
But she is actually very pretty.
You're both hot.
But she's made to look, like, nerdy in the movie. She's still hot, but, like, whatever.
She wears glasses or whatever.
She wears glasses, and her hair is kind of frizzy.
And her hair is, like, in a ponytail.
So crazy. But, yeah, so they go to a concert with a new indie band. Not a concert. It's like they go to a local bar.
Show, yeah.
Yeah, and there's a band there, an indie band from the city playing a gig in their hometown of Devil's Kettle. And by the way, I'm doing spoilers if you guys didn't assume. But
and if you don't want them, then go watch the movie yourself. And
come back. Yeah. And so they basically take Jennifer, sacrifice her to the devil to become a famous indie band. But the problem is that Jennifer is not a virgin. She's not even a backdoor virgin, which is, yes, a line from the film. And so it doesn't fully work, and basically a demon possesses her body, and then to stay young and beautiful, she eats boys, basically, and then...
Basically.
Yeah. And then, chaos ensues.
Yes. Before we start, I think it's worth discussing, actually, the marketing of the movie before it came out and why it was received, like, and how that could have led to why it was perceived the way it was.
Yeah.
So Ash,
So
tell me what's up.
well, now I'm nervous.
Take it away.
Yeah, so like I said, Diablo Cody and the director, Karen Kusama, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
That's how it's spelled, I think. So.
Yeah, that's how it's spelled. So they obviously really wanted to make this movie. They were really passionate about it. They wanted to explore, the toxicity in female friendships that can be brought on by, the patriarchy, putting pressure on the girls. And, I think that's definitely explored really well throughout the movie. As someone who's had a few toxic friendships in the day.
Really?
Really?
Huh?
And so, but the film, although made for teenage girls, was marketed to teenage boys. So they were, being sold Megan Fox, this sexy girl who was in, Transformers.
And shit. Yeah.
And being told that they were gonna, see nudity, they were being told that they were gonna see some sexy stuff, and really all they're seeing is gore and a girl,
weird dialogue,
and dialogue that's more directed towards women to find funny, and and a girl looking really scary eating teenage boys. Teenage girls weren't going to see the film, and teenage boys would go and then be disappointed by the fact that they just were not getting what they were promised in the trailers.
Right.
And it was just not taken seriously, obviously, because at the time, especially, most teenage girl storylines weren't taken seriously, especially in the horror genre. Yeah. So it was just, literally just a recipe for disaster, which is really unfair because obviously now it's a cult classic and it has a lot of really good.
Do you think if it had come out now and it was marketed the same exact way, the same thing would have happened? Or do you think that it would have been, things would have gone differently? I guess it's impossible to say, but what do you...
Yeah, I don't even think so. I feel like there's something to be said about movies bombing at first and then becoming popular later. It's I think that has a part, that has something to do with their late success. I don't think they would have ever done well if they were put out. They're always gonna do better after the fact for some reason.
And it's if your film makes people uncomfortable, or I always say this about the most recent season of Twin Peaks, the reboot, which I still have problems with because I feel the first one did surrealism correct, or not correctly, but in a way that was good, but also kept you watching, even if it made you feel uncomfortable. But this last one was just straight up boring, and made me uncomfortable with how boring it was, which now I realize is the point, that it's supposed to make you uncomfortable and not you're not supposed to enjoy it.
Yeah, but there's also a line of I understand when people make things and it's oh, it's supposed to, if it's I tweeted about this the other day about because I was rewatching Asylum, the American Horror Story season, and it's a very confusing season, but at the same time you never really know what's real or what's fake or anything, and at the same time it's supposed to make you feel like that because you're watching a show about an asylum and, you feel as crazy as the patients do or as crazy as the characters do. But there's also a limit of that's makes it frustrating for your audience. Yeah.
I think also Ryan Murphy famously just has no internal logic in his shows. Yeah,
so it became really frustrating. Just there was so many different storylines, and I was what the fuck do you want me to focus on? I can't even, this isn't even enjoyable at this point. Yeah. Pick a struggle. We got Nazis, we got aliens, we got, I don't even, serial killers that wear your skin. It's really, girl, it's too much.
Girl. I'm a freak for Samuel Beckett, who, makes, or made, he's dead now, plays that are, weird to watch and, nothing happens, but, I don't know, they got that...
Did he make Cats?
No. Okay. That's fucking, that was, inspired by T.S. Eliot somehow, and I don't know if he wrote it or what.
But
Samuel
the person
Beckett and
who
Cats,
made it was
unrelated.
A weird guy. I know. My friend who's a theater geek told me about it. That's all I know about theater.
I really want to watch Cats. Maybe we should do a Cats episode.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do it.
Absolutely not.
I don't know if I can do it. Like, even for the gag of it all.
Okay, so speaking of mental asylums, that is where our film...
Oh my god, what a segue. Wait. No, that's an amazing segue, and I don't want to ruin it, but I do want to just say this one line.
Okay, no, continue what you're going to say, and I'm going to say it again.
Okay, deal. Which we have been
Don't edit out the first one, though. I want them to know. Okay.
Oh my god.
So tell me.
So when Cody, I guess Kusama and Cody, contacted the marketing team that was working on the film at the time. I don't know the details of it, but they apparently
and his name was.
And this is his name, this is his address, send him homemade.
Tear him apart!
And they emailed him why the ads were being created this way and why they weren't accurately representing the film. And Cody said that they got the response, "Jennifer's sexy, she steal your boyfriend."
He didn't lie though. I mean, like
yeah, she didn't lie. They didn't lie, but they're kind of missing the point. That was the issue.
Jennifer is sexy and she will steal your boyfriend and murder him.
Yeah. But it's about much more than that. I really think it is like a feminist
of course.
Slasher film, which is like the greatest slasher film.
Well, that was my...
And it's not even like it's not even like a man's sad attempt at like making revenge. Like a feminist revenge movie, you know?
Yeah.
How like the I don't know if I've even watched one.
It's very weird to me when men do that because it's like I love you that you're an ally, but like, is it your place?
Yeah, and it's just like it's just not done with like any tact or any like real knowledge of what they're doing.
Tact. And well, you know what it is though? It's not like a simple revenge thing where it's like, oh, well, like women are done dirty, so like fuck men, like I'm gonna kill them. It's like about the complexities that like occur within female friendships, like either as a result or like in tandem with
it's really like, more about like a toxic friendship than anything,
right? Exactly. Yeah,
but there's also like an element of how boys can get in the way and make like the patriarchy can make girls be toxic towards each other.
It's also really interesting because
it's all like all the boys that she attacks are like people that either like Needy or Needy kind of has like a soft spot for. Yeah. Other than the first boy, but like she goes after Needy's boyfriend, she goes after that random emo boy. But we're getting off topic. But
also, wait, what the hell was I gonna say?
I don't know. I'm literally lost right now. I'm like wired off of this slushy. I swear to God. I swear to God.
Oh my God. It's like this weird thing where like the boys think of Jennifer as being extremely powerful and having all of this power and like being the dominant one, which she is, because it's like she has something that they want, her pussy, and it's up to her whether she, but then when you think about it another step, it's like she only has that power because it's been given to her by the men who are attracted to her. Yeah. So it's like this really weird symbiotic like...
And it's also like it's also not even fully power. Like it's like this... It's like a tainted power. I don't know why I just said the word taint. Anyway, but it's like, she has to stay hot to keep that power. Yeah. She has to stay, like, which is, part of the reason that, like, when she starts getting ugly and whatever, she, like, is not, like, it makes her freak out and she has to eat more boys. Like,
yeah.
Like, she's literally getting her fuel from men the way that girls have to get validation. Not have to,
guys,
but
you should see my eyes right now. My eyes are open, so my third eye just shot open, decalcified. But it's like she's literally getting her fuel from the men.
Yeah,
that she consumes.
Before she was a demon, she was getting it through validation and through attention. Now she's literally getting it from their flesh.
The symbolism.
And that's what I'm saying. There's, like, levels to this shit. It is not just your run-of-the-mill revenge porn, like... Shit, it's
just choked on my slushie.
Isn't revenge porn like when people
Revenge porn
post...
is when you, like, post, like, your ex's nudes.
Yeah, that's not what I meant. Don't do that.
I just choked.
You will be prosecuted.
You will be prosecuted.
Yeah.
Let me make sure we're still recording, because that would suck. Okay.
No, we are. Okay. I think we, like, covered.
So is it time?
I think it's time.
Speaking of mental asylums, our film opens at some sort of correctional facility for the criminally insane. I want to start with, so it's Amanda Seyfried, or whatever the hell her name is. And
letters and
she is in prison.
She's in prison.
And this is her monologuing.
I wasn't always this cracked. I used to be normal. Well, as normal as any girl under the influence of teenage hormones. But after the killings began, I started to feel, I don't know, loose around the edges or something. God. I hate this fucking song.
Hi guys, we ended up just doing a commenting on a scene that basically introduces Jennifer and Needy's relationship. It's right after the monologue, which I cut out most of, but I left like a part that I thought was kind of interesting. So sorry if there's any confusion. Please bear with us. We're still kind of getting the hang of what format we want to use, but yeah, I'll let you guys get back to it. Bye.
Hey, Monostat. What's up, Vagisil? You and me are going out tonight. Tonight? Why? Because Low Shoulder are playing at Melody Lane. They're this indie rock band from the city. I saw their MySpace page, and the lead singer's extra salty. Plus, there'll be lots of other salty morsels there for you. Come on, Needy. I promised Chip that I would hang out with him tonight. Boo, cross out Needy. What time is the show? We'll pick you up at 8:30. My mom has a date with that guy who owns the ham store. Seems nice.
Wear something cute, okay?
Okay.
Wear something cute meant something very specific in Jennifer speak. It meant I couldn't look like a total zero, but I couldn't upstage her either. I could expose my stomach, but never my cleavage. Tits were her trademark.
Those jeans are hella low. I can almost see your front butt.
It's a rock show. This is my rock look.
Well, I can see, like, your wounds, so... I've never even heard of Low Shoulder. Which one is Jennifer stalking?
The lead singer? Girls like her don't go out with drummers.
Thanks a lot.
No offense. I mean, she'd probably make an exception if you were like a drummer who's also the lead singer.
Like Phil Collins.
Who's Phil Collins?
Forget it, he's seminal, but whatever.
Anyway, the singer guy, Jennifer says he's extra salty, so.
Salty.
Salty means beautiful.
Well, then you must be soy sauce, babe.
Jennifer's here.
How do you know?
Quit tampooning yourself and get down here.
That's fucking weird.
Better hurry before she gets annoyed.
You always do what Jennifer tells you to do.
No, I don't. It's just that I like the same things that she likes. We have stuff in common. That's why we're biffs.
You guys don't have anything in common.
Yeah, okay, Joe.
Would you like to comment?
Yeah, let's comment.
Let's comment.
Let's discuss. Oh, shit.
Guess who's got the whip
Let's
until
discuss.
11:30? A 2003.
Okay. The way that
Let's talk toxic friendships.
Let's talk toxic friendships and let's unpack. Well, I think that, oh my god, this is just so familiar of having a friend who, like, just low-key dominates you, but, like,
Yeah.
you don't it's almost like you can see it happening, but, like, also you don't feel like it's really happening because you're like, oh, okay, I'm fine with this. Yeah, like,
but
why
you also,
not?
yeah, you, like, justify in your brain.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, she, like, makes me feel like shit from time to time, and, like, I do whatever she says, and, like, if I fuck up, then, like, that's my ass. But when she does like what I'm doing, things are so fun. We have so much fun
exactly.
together. And, like, she's so cool. I'm so lucky that I have a friend who's so cool and so pretty and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, blah, 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 blah.
And you think that, like, if you were to lose that friendship, you would somehow, like, lose part of your own worth.
Right, I think
because that person has become such a dominating, like, force in your life that, like,
they're
like,
almost your world.
How am
like,
I supposed to do anything without them? Like, how am I supposed to how am I supposed to go to a party and talk to people without having them by my side? How could I
who else am I gonna go to
that?
things with? Yeah,
exactly.
And, like, I
and
feel
at
like
the
when
time,
you don't,
it seems so dire.
when you don't have a very strong sense of self, or just less of caring, you know, if we do this or that, like, you're like, okay, it's fine, like, that they choose all the things we do, or everything we do is on their terms, because I don't even know what on my terms would be. Like, I don't have a preference. Like, sure, you want me to, like, wear this thing instead of that thing, like, fine, I'm happy either way, like, but then it starts getting suffocated.
That's not your fault for being a more of a wishy-washy, like
easygoing,
not as sure of, like, who you are, what you're into, or all those things. Like, you can still have friends that don't treat you like that.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely not your fault, but it is, like, when I was in one of those type of friendships, like, through a majority of my middle school, high school career, like, I definitely was the type of person who wasn't sure what to wear, or what to say, or what to do, and it was almost easier for me to have someone dominating all of that for me, making those decisions for me. But the cost was that when they didn't like what I was doing, that I would be treated like shit, and that's not fair.
That's
either.
really not fair. I don't think I've ever had, in recent years at least, really, like, I haven't had, like, a bad, like, friendship where it's like, I've had a bad relationship where they make me feel like shit, but, like, not a friendship in recent years, but I have had friendships where I definitely kind of get, I don't even know, like, steamrolled, I guess would be the word.
Yeah.
Which is not a great feeling. Chip is, like, okay, I don't understand this. Like, why are you letting Chip being Needy's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Who's so cute. Like,
really
cute like a baby. Like, not, but
he looks about 15.
He looks about, which is so funny because, like, Needy and Jennifer, like, Amanda and Megan Fox are, like, they look like 22.
He was probably,
least.
like, 20.
Yeah.
And they were probably, like, 23 or something.
Yeah. I think it might be the haircut. But, so he's like, why are you, like, putting up with this and letting her treat you like that? Which, like, valid point, Chip, but I don't think he understands the relationship enough, and he's kind of, like, shaming and blaming Needy instead of trying to understand. He's like, why are you, like, always just, like, doing whatever she wants? And, like, he's probably a little hurt that, like,
it gets in the way
of his relationship with Needy.
Yeah.
Okay, question.
Also, Needy's in love with Jennifer.
I was gonna say, in the beginning, we didn't record this, but it's like Jennifer being a cheerleader and Needy's sitting in the bleachers watching a pep rally. Jennifer's doing her little routine, whatever. And then Jennifer waves at her and Needy waves back. And then a girl, like, sitting next to her is like, you're such a les, or whatever the fuck. She, like, says...
Like, you're such a... I don't even know shit. But she basically calls her a les.
And is, like... And
her last name is Lesnick.
Her last name... Her name is literally Needy Lesnick. But what do you think? Do you think that Needy's in love with Jennifer?
I do think she is.
Do you think she's, like, sexually attracted to Jennifer?
Yes. 100%. She literally, like, makes out with her, and Jennifer knows this and uses it for her own gain.
I also feel like Needy loves Chip, though.
She can't be a bicon?
Yeah, no, she does. She can be.
No, I know, I'm kidding. But yeah, I do think that her love for Jen is, but I think it's also, like, one of those things where lines get so blurred. Like, she also, like, you know, also wants to be her in a sense. Like, it's like one of the questions where it's like, does she want to be her or does she want to be with her? Like, it's both, you know? And that's why it's so, like, such a messed relationship. Like, it's so twisted. And that's another thing about these, like, super long, like, we've been friends since the sandbox thing. They're, like, obsessed with saying we've been friends with the sandbox thing. And, like, that excuses so much, like, bad behavior.
Girl,
and I'm not saying that you can't have friends that you've had for that long. But, like, you have to sit back and ask yourself, like, is this friendship still giving me anything positive in my life? Is it bringing me down? Is it too stressful that at this point it might be better to cut it off? Because it's so hard to cut off those type of friendships. It's scary. You don't want to lose that person that you've had forever in your life. But at some point you have to really ask yourself and be like, is it worth it for me? And sometimes it's not, and that's okay.
And that is okay. The one thing that frustrates me, and I think most, if not all, of the people who've, like, been in my life for a while are, like, good about this, but I hate people seeing you only as the person you've been and not really making room for the possibility that, like, you could grow and change.
Exactly.
I don't like that.
And that's that. I haven't had that experience. I feel like I didn't really change that much in the time that I was friends with the person who I'm no longer friends with, but it still, like, was toxic for other reasons. Do you think you changed,
like,
I think I changed after 100%, and I think it was keeping me from changing. But if you change in midst of the friendship and then they can't accept that, then that's, you know, I think just as wrong of them to do. Yeah.
All right, so now they're going to the rock show, which is...
The rock show.
I think they made 2 groupies.
No, come on.
Don't be so JV. Maybe they're just boys. Morsels, we have all the power. Don't you know that these are like smart bombs, okay? You point them in the right direction and shit gets real. Hi.
Hi.
We just wanted to meet you or something. I'm Jennifer Check, and this is my friend.
Hi. I'm Nikolai. This is, these guys are my band.
Low shoulder. Yeah, I've heard about you. You play your instruments really super good.
Thank you. We are professionals.
Hey, I'm sorry. Can I ask you a question? Why would you want to play all the way out here in Devil's Kettle? You live in the city, right?
Yeah, but you know, I think it's really important sometimes to try and connect with our fans in the shitty areas too.
That's amazing. Can I buy you a drink?
Sure, what are we having?
They have this really awesome 9/11 tribute shooter. It's red, white, and blue, but you have to drink it really fast or it turns brownish.
All right, well, we'll drink it fast.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Hey, how are you gonna get alcohol?
I'll just play Hello Titty with a bartender.
Wow, what an interesting part.
Series of events.
Well, yeah, it's like just so many sexual politics that are to be unpacked there. Are we going to unpack it all?
Up to you.
Sure. I mean, I don't know if I'm well, like, okay, it's interesting because it's like Jennifer is under the impression that, like, she's using her sexuality in a way that is empowering, which is a buzzword or whatever, and I feel like people use it and don't even, like, know what it means. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I even know what it means. Like, I feel like I really struggle with that too, knowing, like, what, I mean, or I have at least. I feel like I've maybe now figured it out what it means for myself, but I think it's really hard, the idea of, like, sexual empowerment for women, because there's so many. It's not just, have sex and then you will be empowered. It's like we're also dealing with this patriarchy that is telling us You know, if you're not giving it up, you're a prude. If you're giving it up, you're a slut. And if you're sexually empowered, then you still feel like shit because you're still abiding by those rules in your brain. Like, does that make sense?
No, yeah, and it's like, if you think, like, oh, okay, I, you know, need to be doing XYZ to, like, the thing that gets me annoyed is that people use the word, like, well, first of all, like, they'll be like, oh, I feel so empowered, instead of saying, like, I feel so powerful. And empowered implies that, like, you're getting the power from somewhere, it's being given to you from something. So it's like, oh, like, sexuality is empowering, like, meaning, like, sexuality gives you power.
Now my eyes are wide.
Her third eye open. But, like, it's just weird to me because it's different.
You aren't getting the power from anywhere else. You have to get that power.
The
from
power
yourself.
belongs within you already. And
you've had it. You can't take it. You can't. The patriarchy tells you.
Right, and it's like you have the power to decide whether you want to do something or not, or be away or not, or whatever, and that's up to you and your own decisions and, like, your circumstances and your positioning, whatever. But if you feel like, oh, okay, like, a powerful woman is, you know,
looks
someone
like this, so I'm gonna be like that.
Yeah, like
then you're just gonna do yourself a disservice.
Right, whether it's like, oh, if I'm being like, or essentially what it means is being morally correct or living your life in a certain type of way or whatever, like being forced by, like, outside pressures to either, like, never have sex until you get married, or, like, just, like, have, you know, random sex or whatever. Like, if the decision isn't from you, then the decision isn't from you. You're being coerced by something, you know?
Yeah.
I guess coerced isn't the right word when it isn't, like, someone literally being coercive, but, like, a coercive, discursive ting.
Yeah.
And then this dude's like, I know girls like that, like...
They show it off and they never give it out.
Which,
some would say.
Which I think is interesting because this guy's, like, obviously a little older, and I think that there was a generational shift that happened when there was still sort of a taboo about, like, premarital sex, where it was, like, that kind of was. Like, I want to say it's, like, early 2000s versus, like, mid 2000s, where then it became less.
Girls were actually fucking.
Girls. Alright, so the band starts playing. The song's not very good. Then the bar that they're playing at burns down. It's really horrifying. Jennifer's, like, in shock. I don't know, hypnotized or whatever the fuck. And
by the lead singer.
By the lead singer, yeah. Basically, we are led to believe that the lead singer has done something which A, started the fire, and B, has hypnotized Jennifer.
He's just, like, a demonic
He's
presence.
just definitely a demonic
like,
presence.
Yeah.
He's, like, twisted and evil.
Whether he did it or not isn't specified, but he's definitely a shady character.
Most certainly. And then they get out, and then Needy's like, oh my god, like, are you okay? Let's go home. Jennifer's still totally zonked. And then the lead singer's like, come to my van, and, like, is, like, giving her alcohol, and Needy's like, Jennifer, let's go home. What the fuck? And Jennifer's like, shut up, Needy. Goes into the van. Needy goes home, is worried for Jennifer. Then Jennifer basically, like, shows up in her house, and
all bloody,
looking really pale and messed up, and then, like, vomits, like, this black sludge, or is eating, like, a raw chicken from Needy's fridge, and then vomits black sludge, and then it looks as if Jennifer's, like, about to fucking eat Needy, and she, like, puts her, like, mouth on her neck, and then suddenly just, like, runs away.
Yeah.
And now it's the next day, everyone at school is talking about, like, the horrific fire, multiple people died, and then Jennifer rolls up, acting like everything's normal.
A bitch.
And, like, a huge bitch.
She's just being a bitch and gaslighting the shit out of Needy. As toxic friends do.
Oh, Lord, my phone just fell.
Where's it at, Monostat? You're alright. Yeah, why wouldn't I be? Because last night at my house, you two have a tendency to overreact. You remember when we were in Girl Scout camp and you totally thought that there was an earthquake, but it was just two guys with a ghetto blaster? People died, Jennifer. It's like all over the news. National news. Anybody that we know? We know everyone. Sucks to be them, I guess. What is wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Besides the obvious surface flaws.
I knew it was real. I'd been up all night scrubbing the carnage off the linoleum.
Please don't talk to yourself. It's one of your more freakish, needy behaviors, and it makes us both look like total gay lords. Ew, fuck, you need a manny bad. You should find a Chinese chick to buff your situation.
She's also being very offensive.
Yeah. On
Don't
many a
worry.
level.
But she's a bitch. She's
Jennifer's
fully not a good
problematic.
person. Yeah. But, you know, where is that coming from? She obviously just experienced a trauma.
Are you trying to defend Jennifer?
No, I'm just saying that, like, she's gaslighting her friend, and it's, like, obviously she's insecure in herself. I'm just, like, saying why these people act the way that they do,
I'm joshing. Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Because I am a registered psychologist.
Yes.
So
Ash has received her degree, a master's in psychology, and a PhD in medical science.
And a second PhD in having a fat ass.
That's true. Can confirm.
Yeah, but I just think it's just interesting.
It's interesting. Oh my god. It's like you want to just scream at Needy, like, stop being dumb and just, like...
Stop being friends with this
Stop being friends with this...
She's obviously a bitch.
Right. But then you're like, obviously, it's different when you're in the situation.
Of course.
You know?
No, I can, like, even watch this movie with this perspective because I'm, like, so far out of being in that position. But, like, I'm when I first watched this movie, I was probably just like, Jennifer's hot. Like,
Jennifer sexy, Jennifer steal your boyfriend.
Literally, I was probably like, Jennifer sexy, Jennifer steal your boyfriend, which is kind of still how I watch this movie. But, like, you know, there are also social commentary to be made and reviewed.
Jennifer would call you a gay lord and then eat you. And...
Literally, she would. Oh my god, and I would totally just be absolutely falling for her tricks, without a doubt.
Yeah, I think you might want to talk to the school shrink. I'm not saying that to be a dill hole.
Okay, if I don't tell Whoppers, then I'm not crazy.
I didn't say you were crazy. It's just everybody's a little messed up about this, and it's okay to feel...
Discombobulated?
Yeah, fucked up. Hey, Needy.
Oh my god, this guy.
Oh, hi, Colin.
I heard you were there last night in the fiery trenches.
Fiery trenches.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Oh my god, wait, I'm cracking the code. Okay, I'm cracking that code. That random emo guy who just came up, Chip and Jennifer, have something in common. Needy's attracted to them. And so, in the beginning, Needy is like, I was as normal as any teenage girl, like, with raging hormones. So, like, this is literally about Needy's, like, sexuality.
That's valid.
Is that valid?
That's so valid, yeah.
Thank you.
I think it's definitely an aspect because she is, like, attracted to all these people, and that's what, like, and then then Jennifer goes after them and eats them.
Literally, her sexuality is a destructive force. This is what we're realizing, like, and this is the code we've cracked, is that, like, this movie's insanely dark. Like, there's the, like, seminal scene of Jennifer walking down the body and, Jennifer walking down the hallway. Jennifer walking down the hallway in, like, the pink, like, velour, like, zip up and, like, the
like,
low-rise jeans. Like,
she's
you always see that gif, but it excludes the wider context where it's, like, everybody wasn't themselves. Like, we were numb with pain, so like, after the fire. And she's just walking down the hallway, like, working, like, it's so... It's dark. It's so macabre that we, like...
And she's, like, flipping her hair, and she's, like...
That GIF was on Tumblr a billion times, like, on every Instagram edit, like, so many people's icons.
Literally. No one takes this movie seriously because it's about a teenage girl.
Levels.
Tragedy at Melody Lane. than the murder of Jonas Kozel.
Boring.
As I was saying, Jennifer,
She's a sociopath.
I finally have some good news to share with all of you. The members of the rock and roll group Low Shoulder have decided to extend a helping hand to our community. As you all know, their song, Through the Trees,
There's a girl wearing a
has
Low
become
Shoulder
our
t-shirt.
unofficial anthem of unity and healing.
Have you never
And
watched
they have decided
Jennifer's
to release
Body
it as a
before?
No, I have,
benefit
with you.
single.
Okay.
3% of the profits will go to local families who have been affected by loss.
What about the other 97%? I mean, that's just crass, right?
Need to go
Crass.
off.
It means greedy, exploitative, scummy. Low Shoulder are American heroes. You take that back, needy Les, Nikki.
Girls,
We need them now more than ever.
that's enough.
I'm already sick of that song. Yeah, it's really poorly produced. Everything's really lower in the
It's really
Poorly produced. Oh, that's got to be the title.
No,
It's
I feel like boo-boo. My skin is breaking out and
People
my
talking
hair
about
is
our
falling.
Literally our
Yeah,
Apple
it's really
Podcast
gross.
reviews. It's
Are you
really poorly
PMSing or
produced.
something? PMS isn't real, Nikki. It was invented by
Really?
the boy-run media to make us seem crazy.
PMS isn't real.
Don't look at me like that. It's just where
Do you think PMS is real?
What's where?
Yes, I think I have
I
the
think I have.
I have
like,
the PMS. It is so bad that each and every time it makes me want to permit sewers.
Can I borrow your English homework again?
You're kidding me.
I'm not. It's one where it's like premenstrual dysphoric disorder or
Oh, I
something.
have that too.
No,
Oh
it's
my
dark.
God. Mine isn't.
I'll go out with you.
I think my mom has it too. It's like, it's bonkers.
Oh, I lose it.
I literally had to like up my antidepressants because of it. They were like, just take more antidepressants.
Literally. Oh my god, this is the emo boy.
I thought that maybe you'd like to go to a midnight showing of Rocky Horror at the Bijou next weekend.
Oh my god, he has a lip ring.
Yep.
And like also Needy is like kind of crushing on this boy, which is like Alyssa, because she has a boyfriend.
Fuck it. Okay.
Illicit. It's
Forget it.
Oh, it is.
That was random. I'm used to boys asking me out, maybe.
Yo,
That was really nice.
bitch.
He's into maggot rock. He wears nail polish. My dick is bigger than his. Well, I think he's really cool. You do? Yeah.
Jennifer is a metaphor for Needy's desire.
Colin,
It's
why don't you just come by my place tonight? I just got Aquamarine on DVD. It's about this girl who's like half sushi. I guess she has sex through a blowhole or something.
Yo, Aquamarine's an excellent movie, by the way.
Okay. Great, yeah.
Okay, I'll text you my address.
Cool.
We forgot to do an outro, but we're gonna actually split the movie into 2 parts. So this is part 1, and then coming soon is gonna be part 2. So stay tuned for that. If you like this episode, I really hope you guys do. And we're gonna keep on working, perfecting the format. I know it's rough in a lot of places and kind of jumbled, but you know what do you guys expect at this point? But we're gonna try, I promise. But yeah, bye guys.